Right?
Yes, we inject something.
So you inject it in.
What are you? Who are you injecting?
This old woman who's she's been ill and that she's died.
So she's dead. So we're bringing old people back to life. Okay, fine. That's step one. We just got to sort that out first. But fine, we'll crack that. Go on, next. So we brought people back from the dead. Fine.
Yeah, but this is a way of controlling population. Remember, they can't be having it away and having kids. This is just the way we're going to work
so
now.
There's an old lady. So we start now. We start now as the world is now. So what happens?
Right. So you get like an old woman
who's dead.
Yeah.
Yep.
Injector and that.
Injector.
And then what happens is she sort of wakes up.
Amazing.
Right. And she works the other way. So like she might be 77.
Yep.
And then she'll have a birthday. She's 76, and she's working that way.
Right.
If you know what I mean.
Okay.
Are you with me?
No, keep it.
Because the thing is, you've got.
I'm really scared.
Yeah.
I'm really scared. This is the maddest thing you've ever said.
Yeah.
This is madder than the old lady with the pip like an apple in her belly.
It sort of did work.
This is
no, it didn't work. It worked in your head. It's like a dream that you wake up and go, oh, I've got a great theory. And
This is it. Let me just tell you the ending, because the endings works out a bit better.
Go on.
What I'm saying is, when you die, at the age of
78,
9 months.
What?
At the age of 9 months, because that's when you come out.
What do you mean when you die at the age of 9 months?
You're not scared of dying because you're now a baby, so you don't know what's going on anyway.
And what, literally gets younger and younger?
I think when she's in her 20s, she's in her old age, Rick.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, because that's the fun part of your life, isn't it? When you're 20 and you've got all your energy and that. So before you die, you're actually having a good life, rather than it being the other way around.
But does she do different stuff than she did on the way up? Because she's already lived 78 years, hasn't she? Don't forget, she was a baby once, and she grew to 78 years. Then someone stuck a needle in her head and said, "Right, back you go."
No, we'll forget all that bit.
Forget all that bit. How do we forget that bit?
What I'm saying.
So
is,
she died, and she doesn't remember all her. This is a new life, is it?
Let me just leave you with this.
Right, you're talking shit. Explain yourself.
What I'm saying is, old people are scared of dying. When they're 77, they're going, "Oh, what's going to happen to me?" Little injection in the head. When it's a baby, when it's like 1, and everybody around it's going, yeah, it's going to die soon. Isn't it? Baby hasn't got a clue. It's happy. It's playing about with its rattle or whatever.
So it loses all its memories.
That's it.
And then what happens? So when does it die? When it gets to 0? When it's 0 days old, it goes through.
It just dies. People know it's almost like a countdown. So the family's aware of it.
But aren't the family getting younger as well? What's happened to the family?
Forget it then, we'll leave it as it is.
No, leave it as it is, shall we?
Shall we? Can we all agree on that, guys? Now, should we agree to leave it as it is? Is that alright? Because I don't want to hear any more from the diaries of Charles Manson.
No, it's I mean, you're a fucking maniac.
If you're a maniac and you'd like to get in touch, then please email us at podcast@rickygervais.com. Doing a bit of Christmas shopping, Rick, the other day, and I was travelling around on the tube, the London Underground, the subway system for our American friends. And, as you know, but people around the world may not be so familiar, there's a recorded voice that you sometimes get on the tube that says, mind the gap.
Oh yeah, before you open the door.
Yeah.
Mind the gap.
And the reason is that sometimes in some stations there is a gap between the train and the platform, and obviously, theoretically you could fall down.
And it's different sizes, so just that little reminder, mind the gap. You look down, it's safe.
Just makes you stop. Seems to make sense.
Yeah.
Saw a teenager, wearing a t-shirt, don't know where he'd bought it. It just said, fuck the gap.
He was tired of it.
Yeah,
he didn't want to mind the gap.
But what I like is, what's he protesting about?
I don't know.
I mean, it's not the police or the man keeping you down. That's just good, sensible health and safety information.
That's like saying, fuck looking both ways before I cross the road.
Screw penicillin.
I know.
No, do you know what? I'm going to drink and I am going to use threshing machinery. And I don't give a damn. I love that about teenagers, that kind of screw you sort of mentality, but not, it's kind of blind, isn't it? It's just anything's a target, anything's valid.
When I was a teenager, I think maybe 17, I had a t-shirt. I was rallying against just stuff, really. It was slightly more abstract than the Gap. I wasn't specifically against the Gap. It just said bullshit. Just in general, bullshit.
You were raging against the machine.
I would just go, yeah. People say, "Hey, what are you?" I just open my. I go, bullshit. All right, just bullshit.
But I assume that these forms of protest have never made any dent in anything in the world. Because I remember when there was all these protests against the war, a couple of months back, and there was one guy. So there was a huge march in London, as you know, and they did these all around the world, didn't they? But there was thousands of people in London. There was one guy. He was riding around on a 3-wheeled bike, wearing a jester's hat, blowing a horn. That was his form of protest against the war.
Was it like, what sort of horn was it?
It was one of those sort of hunting horns.
Well, he was showing him. He was saying, "This is what I believe."
Yeah.
And if that doesn't change people's opinions, I don't know what will.
But I like the idea of Bush, just about to invade Iraq, and just the news comes through from his chief of staff.
And then Bush goes,
George.
What is it? What is it? What?
No, listen, seriously, we've got some information coming in from London.
Go on.
I know you're thinking of invading Iraq.
Definitely,
but,
yeah, why?
Well, let's just think about it, because there's a guy riding around on a 3-wheeled bike.
Oh.
He's not got the regular 2, he's gone for 3 wheels. So...
Okay, well listen, what's he wearing?
I don't want to tell you what he's wearing, he's just...
What's he wearing on his head?
He's wearing a jester's hat.
Okay, no, well, calm down, it's not that bad. It's not gonna change my opinion about...
He's blowing a horn!
Okay, get the troops out. Get the troops out now. What do they think they're doing?
You've got to get involved in the... I saw a girl once again, a teenage girl. I was behind her on the tube, and she had this bag, like a rucksack, and it was kind of black, and it had painted in Tipex. It had a picture of George Bush, but he was kind of in the sights of a rifle, and it sort of said "Stop the War," and it had a Barbie's head, but it was severed, and the hair was scraped back, and she'd been made up to look kind of devilish, and there was sort of CND signs, and there was "No to war" and all this, and I sort of wanted to tap her on the shoulder and say, are you actually getting involved in stopping the war, or have you been working mainly on this bag?
Yeah, this
that
takes
must have taken you at
time.
least a couple of days. You could have been writing emails, you could have been getting a petition going.
Oh dear.
Carl, have you ever been into that sort of teenage rebellion, teenage protest?
What, to sort of stop stuff going on and that?
Yeah. Or just making your views heard.
I don't really like people knowing what I'm thinking and that.
Right.
There's no way anyone can know what you're thinking.
No, but
even is that why you're doing a radio show where you spout off your nonsense ideas every week?
No, but what I mean is...
A team of surgeons could fiddle around in your head for a couple of days and they still wouldn't know what you were thinking. No, I know what you're thinking. Exactly. You're thinking of... you're thinking, could a monkey ever be president? At this moment, aren't you?
But I don't like anyone that... Like, all those badges that you're talking about, like, Save the Whale and all that. I don't like the idea that when I get on a tube and someone sees that, they sort of know that I want to save the whale. I don't like people knowing, even to the point of...
It gives you a disadvantage in life, doesn't it?
But just knowing stuff like when you get on a tube and say if you've been shopping, right, and you've had to buy an ironing board, I hate it that people sort of look at what you've got and go, who's doing some ironing?
Right, okay. That's got to be rare. I mean, you can't have bought more than 5 or 6 ironing boards in your adult life.
I don't mean just ironing boards. I mean anything big where they can't wrap it, so they just put a carrier bag round a little bit of it, and everyone can see what you've just bought.
It's weird because I bought an ironing board last week from Argos, and I did feel a little bit self-conscious.
There you go.
Because I thought people thinking he's 30, why hasn't he got an ironing board yet?
Yeah.
No wonder he's a scruffy bastard.
I pretend I'm going surfing whenever I buy an ironing board. I just make sure I go in a Bermuda short. I just walk down the street and I go, surfing USA, and they think, hey, there's a dude going to the beach. I pop on a bus, go home and do some ironing.
Yeah. Wait a minute, what's that on his t-shirt? Bullshit. He's radical. I get still faintly embarrassed buying toilet paper.
Yeah. I always have to buy something else to go with it.
Yeah.
I don't like, because if you just buy that on its own, if you buy it on its own, it's obvious that you're dying for one, and it's like, I haven't got any in. Whereas if you just chuck it in with a pot noodle, it's like, well, he's eating and he's thinking about later. Whatever. But
if you buy it on its own, you know that you've got none in the house and you've just rushed across the street to get some. Especially if you're still in your slippers.
Well, that's about it for another podcast. And a new one in a week's time after Christmas. So, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Have an absolutely blinding Christmas.
or a lovely whatever festival you celebrate in your part of the world, from Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant and Carl Pilkington.
If you want to send us anything, as ever, the email address is podcast@rickygervais.com. You can email just your thoughts on the show, if you've got some monkey news for Carl, or anything you think might intrigue Carl, or indeed maybe just some Christmas wishes, then that's the email address, podcast@rickygervais.com.
I would like to wish a particularly Merry Christmas to those guys at Positive Internet for all their genius input and good work hosting this podcast. Goodbye.
Merry Christmas.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Happy Christmas, Ricky. Happy Christmas, Steve. Who invited Yoko? Happy Christmas, Uncle. Happy Christmas, Julie.
So this is Christmas.
John Lennon and Yoko Ono. Happy Christmas. War is over. On Radio 2. I'm Ricky Gervais. With me, Steve Merchant.
Good morning.
And our producer, Carl Pilkington. But more about Carl later. We want to introduce the world to Carl, don't we?
It's extraordinary to think that there's people yet that have not experienced Carl. A whole new audience is going to discover
I think of me and Stephen as like Anthony Hopkins in The Elephant Man.
Yeah.
Just taking Carl round the country, the world. Maybe
Yeah.
just letting, maybe some doctors and surgeons might want to, after today,
We
certainly...
just drop a sheet, he's there nude, and they can just ask him questions, examine him, see what makes him tick.
You know, that's Carl's favourite film, by the way, The Elephant Man. He said he loves it. He said, one, he said the title tells you exactly what you're going to get.
Yeah.
He loved that, right? He said, two, it's sad. And I was saying, why is it sad? He said, where's that bit where they take him to show all the surgeons, and the Elephant Man is all naked and that, and the bloke goes, the genitals are normal, and Carl went, think of that, the one thing you would want like an elephant, and he gets the head. That's why I thought it was
That's
sad.
the kind of mind process of Carl which we'll introduce to you later. In the meantime...
Well, yeah, if you're expecting Jonathan Ross, then you're gutted.
Yeah.
You probably know me from such works as The Office, Extras, Alias.
Yeah.
Carl, you don't know about. Stephen is more familiar. Stephen co-wrote and directed The Office and Extras with me. You may have seen him in Extras as the agent. You may have seen him briefly in The Office. He is a goggle-eyed freak.
You're referring to the character now, are you? Or?
Yeah, whatever.
Thanks.
Well,
no, it's just a little inconvenient.
I'm just trying to paint the picture for people at Christmas.
Sure.
Steve.
Yeah. I wouldn't say goggle-eyed, I think goggle-eyed freak's harsh. You know, these are these are designer specs. And, yeah, admittedly I'm a little bit tall, but,
6'7".
Yeah, but let's not have a go at that.
Carl, we've got more at us later. I think we should play a record. We've done introductions.
Pop a little song on.
But do you remember the first time you saw Steve?
Well, let's pop a little song on that, alright? Chat about it in a bit. Alright.
Bruce Springsteen. Bit of Bruce Springsteen. Santa Claus is coming to town. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, Merry Christmas indeed.
I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant.
Hello.
And Carl Pilkington. If you have tuned in to hear Jonathan, it's the last time I mention him. We haven't got him today. You've got us for the next couple of Saturdays. I feel like a stepfather.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? I want to say to the listener, listen, you know, I never replace Daddy.
Yeah.
But I am here, and I do my best for you, and I love you.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I want to go, listen, I'm doing Mummy now, live with it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's exactly right, yeah. And hopefully that people will appreciate us and enjoy us just as much as Jonathan.
I don't care if they don't. In fact, I intend to shave millions of listeners off this by the end of the
You're doing
2
a good
hours.
job.
But the ones that have stayed listening to the end, they love it.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah.
And I think I've got to have Christmas dinner with them tomorrow anyway, so I can just have a chat.
So we're introducing ourselves. I'm Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Carl Pilkington. Now, it's difficult to describe Carl. I just think you'll have to get to know him over the next 2 hours. But we have taken the liberty of getting some stuff ready for you if you want to find out more about him. If you go to rickygervais.com, we've put up a special little page. Go into Who's Carl. We've put a little biography up of him and loads of pictures, and you have never seen a head rounder than he looks like Mr. Spoon from Button Moon.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or Bod.
Bod,
Grown
it's
up.
almost
There's a
like it.
little bit of Charlie Brown in there. He's even got a little stripe shirt. It's perfectly rounded. It's balding, and it's not a sort of like a good balding. It's sort of like, he looks like a worn tennis ball. Do you know what I mean? He's got a little bit of growth.
It's not that sort of Telly Savalas cool bald.
No, it's just a scruffy little, I don't know what it is.
Happy Christmas and that.
What do you think of that then, Carl? Your introduction to the nation?
Well, you know, if we're going to start picking on looks and stuff, like you mentioned before, we can go over everyone in this room.
What?
I mean, let's make it fair.
What?
Let's have a chat about Steve over there.
What are you talking about?
Well, you know, sort of how I felt when I first saw you.
Wait, don't go mad, Steve. Let Carl speak. Right, this is his platform.
No, I'm just saying, you just said about painting a picture.
Yeah, go on then.
I wouldn't paint a picture of that. No, I'm not, Steve, you know I'm not having a go, mate.
What do you mean you're not having a go? It sounds like you're having a go.
Well, what did you think when you first saw him, when he first walked into that room all those years ago?
Sort of thought he looked like a cartoon. No, Steve, you know that you look a little bit odd. This isn't like a
31,
right,
but I
so
don't...
30. What do you look like as a baby? I mean...
Why is this a character assassination?
No, I'm not having a go. I'm just saying what it was like. No, I'm used to, you know, when I see you, I don't sort of double take anymore. I just...
What's going on with this?
No, but, you know, when you popped in and that, it was just a bit of a shock, and now, you know, I've got used to it and that.
Good, you're happy now. You can cope now.
Hold on. You were shocked when you saw Steve Merchant. You told me once you went to school with two fellas who had big heads and webbed hands and feet. Yeah. And they weren't related. Why were there two people at your school, and yet you find Steve freaky?
You never said freaky. You said freaky. You said freaky.
Madonna hung up. Now, she's given us a platinum disc to give away.
Nice.
We got big prizes from Madonna, and
if people are rushing around today on Christmas Eve thinking I wanted to buy a Madonna platinum disc for my mum, there's no I can't find one anywhere in Boots.
We'll give you things you can't buy in the shops.
Perfect.
And that's coming up. But Carl, just I don't want to. I'm not stirring it, right? You started a little bit of a war with Steve.
You are stirring it.
Well, no.
This is stirring right now. This is the terminology.
But do you know that the fellas in your school, the big heads and webbed feet and webbed hands?
Webbed hands. Yeah.
But they hung around together, did they?
I don't think they did.
And they were nothing to do with each other.
No, I think people expected them to sort of knock about together. But they must have thought, that'd be too obvious. You know what I mean?
But where did you live? Near a power plant? Well, I mean, why did you have...
I don't think it had anything to do with that, though. Just sometimes you get a little... Look at Steve, he didn't live near a power plant.
No, listen, can I just stop you there, right? Let me just stop you there, because it always happens. As soon as we it's supposed to be a nice day, and suddenly you're having a go, right? Now, this got sent on the email, okay? Now, this is not me saying this. This is someone who's forwarded a review that was put on the web. It was a review of your appearance on one of Ricky's stand-up comedy DVDs, okay? I'm quoting this. This is not me saying it. It says that Carl, through a combination of his intriguing way of thinking and slightly less than human appearance... Right, Carl may just be the proof needed to muffle the cries of creationists the world over, as this missing link demonstrates that not only did man evolve from apes, but the process isn't quite finished yet. Okay, now that's someone else, an external person's opinion of you.
But the terrible thing about that is, Carl's feelings aren't hurt because he didn't understand a word of that.
I said the word creationist, that lost it.
That lost it. You've got to remember that Carl, you know when people say they're talking to their cat and they go, oh look at him, look at this, it's like he can understand what we're saying. Well, Carl's got that look, but you know he can't understand what you're saying. All right, Carl?
No, but I mean, now we're talking about your head and that, right? When you go back to, say, your mum and dad, it's Christmas time, right? There's a lot of people travelling up and down the country, going back seeing their mum and dad. They probably haven't seen them all year, right? When you go back, is it a shock to them again? No, do you know like how you get used to how someone, like I say, I'm used to you. I see you a few times a week. I don't do the double take. But what I mean is, when you go back, do they sort of go, oh, there he is? You know what I
mean? Fair record. It's like,
let's leave it then.
Let's move on then, because I'm going to get angry. And we haven't even got. It's only 25 past
Christmas.
A little bit of Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah. Oh, this is beautiful. Simon and Garfunkel. April comes she will. Looking forward to spring already.
Yeah, it's a bit premature, but fine.
Well, I thought it'd be nice You know, it's like, if it's a bit
Let's get
cold.
Christmas over first, alright?
Christmas over. I love that. My mum used to go, "Oh, that's not over for another year."
like
You should look forward to it all year. You know, buy things out of the catalogue, pay for it for the next 12 months, and then go, "Oh, that's not over now." Like, you know, 5 o'clock Christmas Day, that was it. When is Christmas over?
I would say Christmas is over once you've seen the Vicar of Dibley Christmas special.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I think it was
that
earlier than
Christmas is
that.
over
I
then.
think it was when the elderly ones fall asleep about 3:30. They wake up because the kid's playing with something noisy.
Yeah.
A game that goes something like that.
Yeah.
That's when Christmas is over.
You know what you're getting this year then.
Exactly. I do. All right. I was shopping with Carl. Don't give anything away that I bought, right? Because you know. But I've got to tell you something. We went into this one shop. I didn't get anything from it, so I can talk about this. For looking for a present for my girlfriend Jane, and it was a beautiful shop in St James's. They're all beautiful around there, and it was this shop of sort of